Hi everyone, I'm Theresa V, and this is the place to be if you're a sensitive empath who wants to create a life you love in this amazing, beautiful world. And each month, I check in with our angels to see what advice they have so that we can more easily navigate the energies of the world at this time. This month, we're talking about how you're stronger than your patterns, whether chosen or inherited. The most important belief we are being called to leave behind. Our greatest duty moving forward, what our most renewable and most precious resources are, and the most valuable asset we have to offer the world. Stay tuned for more from your angels. Our angels really want us to focus on leading and moving forward from the heart, on reconnecting with our innocence. There was a big push of internal focus in the recent past, and then the beginning of this year has really been about the tearing down, those circumstances outside of ourselves that have caused us to truly examine where we are and question what serves us moving forward. At this time, we are building and rebuilding with consideration for the good of all, the good of the whole. Building new things from the perspective of what's good for a limited number of people is no longer serving us. Part of what we're doing personally is releasing old patterns of thought, of behavior, patterns that we've defaulted to for a long time. As sensitives, as empaths, as spiritually focused people, we have seen that it is possible to break free of old patterns. We've seen others do it, and we've probably helped. However, we have been told so many times in our life that we are too sensitive, that we have to toughen up, that we have to function in the real world, that somewhere inside of us there is often a belief that tells us we are not strong enough to break through our own patterns, our old ways of doing things that no longer serve us, especially if they come down the genetic line. We believe and we know the strength of epigenetic work. We know the strength of working with healers and coaches, but we doubt our own ability to stand sovereign in our energy and claim that shift for our own. Our angels want us to know that we're stronger than the patterns. We are more sensitive than most. That's part of the strength here. Our sensitivity allows us to notice the subtle ways that we begin to move into those patterns, that we begin to convince ourselves that it's okay to do so. It is time for us to leave behind our belief in our own weakness. We are being called to fully embody our sensitivities as the superpowers that they are. Healing any pattern, physical, mental, emotional, requires that we be fully present. It requires that we be in our body, that we be embodied. One of the first things we do when we get uncomfortable or when there is pain as sensitives is we zoom, go right out of body. So this concept of healing needing us to be in body, embodied, seems very counterintuitive. And we do come by this action honestly. When we were in our formative years, very often there weren't people around us who could fully explain our sensitivities. They couldn't tell us how to use them and how to operate within them. So we spent our life feeling incredibly overwhelmed. We felt everyone else's feelings and emotions. We anticipated everyone's needs and moods. And what we tend to forget is that it's not just what was present in our home. It was our extended family. It was what was coming into the house through the media, through the newspaper, through the cartoons. We were absorbing feelings, emotions, love, fear like sponges. And so, when we got to a point where we felt ill or we felt discomfort in our body, that was it. We were already overwhelmed. We were feeling too much. So leaving the body was the one thing that we could do to control our circumstances, to make our lives more livable. And now the angels are telling us that it's time to do the opposite. In order to continue to make an impact, to be fully present on this planet and do the work that we're here for, we need to embody This is our duty moving forward. Regardless of how joyous or how painful an experience is, the way through it is to be fully present with it. This is going to be challenging for us, and many of us have been stepping into this already in the first quarter of this year, being with the experiences, breathing through them, coming face to face with our emotions, and finding the beauty and the pearls that are hidden within them. It's time for us to fully lead with our heart. When we've deemed emotions not worthy of a spiritually focused person, like anger and sadness, we think that we should know better. We think that we should be able to use our tools to work through them without feeling them. This is spiritual bypassing. Yes, we have so many tools to work through these emotions, but that is the key, to work through them, not to work around them. We need to be present with them to gain the insight they have for us, and then we can use our tools to help us work through them, move them through the body instead of ignoring them and pushing them away. When we dull ourselves from having these less desirable emotions, we also dull our ability to have the more desirable emotions, like happiness and joy, and this dulls our expression. And when we lead from the heart, we are present with what is in our heart at that moment. When we can be fully present in our heart center, we have the ability to tap into an infinite resource, which is love. There is no end to the amount of love that we can bring forth and run through our bodies. The angels are inviting us to return to our state of innocence, a sense of wonder that we had at some point as children, where this world seemed completely new to us and we would revel in the smallest miracle, like the first time we saw a flower poke through the ground, or watching an ant carry a crumb that's 100 times the size of its own body. These small joys, these moments of communion, get us fully present, back in the moment, fully embodied in the experience. We are there and we are observing, we are using all of our senses. When we can return to this state of innocence, this place where everything is new, we can fully appreciate what is going on in our world, because truly our world is completely new. Nothing is functioning the way it did before. And when we can be in that state of wonder, when we can witness what is happening around us, we can empty ourselves of preconceived notions, of the ways that things have been done before, and we can hear the whispers of what wants to be birthed now, what is needed now. This new world needs new systems, needs new ways of showing up, needs new ways of being. And our state of wonderment can help us to be receptive to the guidance, to the inspiration. And this is how we move forward. We create. This is our path. Our angels are also inviting us to think about how we're spending this precious resource of time that we have. Are we spending it doing things that don't resonate? Are we doing things out of obligation instead of out of joy and creativity? How can we bring more of our time back to ourselves so that we can use it for what will make this world better? It's time for us to reclaim that. This will probably lead most of us down a path of examining, well, what really does matter to me now? What matters to you now will be very different than what mattered to you 5 years ago. Probably even very different than what mattered to you 6 months ago. This now moment, it's all we really have. And as we reclaim our time, this exploration will show us where we should invest that precious resource. Being in a state of wonder is how new things will be created. It's how our creativity will flow through us, will work through us. It's how we will be able to stay in the energy of infinite possibilities. When we are there, we'll be able to feel which possibilities are necessary now, and then we'll be able to pull them and bring them forth. It's time for us to listen in. When do we need to dance, to play, to nap, to work. Listen to our natural rhythms and work more with our bodies, just like we did as a very young child. We would listen to what our bodies needed and then make sure that our needs got met somehow. You are stronger than your old patterns. You are stronger than the things that you've been told define you. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a strength, and you'll see that it is going to be one of the most valuable assets to the world as we move forward. That feels really complete from our angels this month. If you would like to connect even more deeply with aligned, heart-centered community and your angels, I invite you to take part in our next Angel Transformation Hour call. These calls are completely donation-based, and every donation is accepted with love and gratitude. The angels will be bringing forth messages that are relevant, as well as answering your questions. Nothing you bring to the table is too big, too small, or off limits. Join us in this container of love, of joy, and aligned connection. The link to sign up for the call is in the description of this video or in the comments below. I look so forward to being in this space with you again soon. Thank you, as always, for being here, for sharing these videos, for leaving such beautiful comments. I am so grateful that you are a part of this community and that we have connected. I am sending you so much love and so many angel blessings. Goodbye, everybody.